Okay, Marcus, quick question. You're on a date, things are going well, you've parked at a nice romantic overlook, and then you hear it scrape, scrape, scrape on the car door. What's your move?
I'm driving. Immediately. We can discuss the romantic ambiance after we're no longer potential murder victims.
Welcome back to What If It's Real, where we take your childhood nightmares and ask the important questions. I'm Riley.
And I'm Marcus. Today we're tackling one of the most famous cautionary tales in American folklore, the Hookman, also known as the Hook.
Right, the classic setup. Two teenagers park at a secluded spot, Lover's Lane if you're feeling dramatic. They're listening to the radio, probably making out, when a news bulletin interrupts. An escaped mental patient with a hook on his hand is on the loose in the area.
The girl gets scared and wants to leave. The boy naturally says, "Don't worry about it." They hear strange noises. She insists they go. He finally agrees, drives her home, and when she gets out of the car,
there's a bloody hook hanging from the door handle. He was right there the whole time, trying to open the door.
It's a perfect urban legend. It has everything: romance, danger, a moral lesson about premarital activities in cars.
Very wholesome. So our question today, what if it's real? What if you're sitting in that car, you hear that scraping sound, and there actually is a man with a hook trying to get in?
Let's establish a scenario. It's nighttime. You're parked in a secluded area, likely a wooded overlook or empty parking lot. You've just heard a radio report about an escaped mental patient with a hook hand. Then you hear scrape, scrape, scrape.
My first instinct is pure panic. But let's think logically. Is the scraping definitely coming from outside the car? Because it could be a stick caught in the wheel well, or maybe you backed into a bush and a branch is rubbing against the door.
That's fair. Step 1, identify the source of the sound. Don't just assume it's a hook-handed maniac. That's how you end up on the evening news looking foolish. Local teams flee from aggressive shrubbery.
Okay, so you cautiously peek out the window and you see him. A figure standing right there, hook glinting in the moonlight. Now what?
Now you drive. Immediately. Do not pass go, do not collect $200, you start the engine and you leave.
But here's my question. What if the car won't start? It's a classic horror movie trope. The engine turns over but won't catch. You're stuck, he's right there. The hook is scraping closer.
Then you have approximately 30 seconds to make a series of critical decisions. First, are your doors locked?
Oh God, the doors. In the original story, I don't think they ever mention if the doors are locked. That's a huge detail.
It's the most important detail. Modern cars auto-lock when you put them in drive, but older cars, manual locks. If you're driving a vintage vehicle for the aesthetic, you've just made a tactical error.
So doors locked, check. Windows up, check. But he's got a hook, can't he just smash the window?
He could, but here's an interesting point. In most versions of the legend, he doesn't. He scrapes at the door, he tries the handle, but he doesn't break the glass. Why?
Maybe he's polite? He's a hook-handed maniac, but he respects personal property.
Or, and this is our first revelation, the legend is actually a metaphor. Folklorists believe the hook story emerged in the 1950s as a way for parents to warn teenagers about the dangers of parking in isolated areas. The hook represents external danger, but also the consequences of risky behavior.
So you're saying the hook is symbolic? I thought we were taking this literally.
We are, but understanding the subtext helps us understand his behavior. He's not trying to break in, he's trying to scare you into leaving. He wants you to panic.
Okay, so if the goal is to make me panic, then staying calm is my best defense. Don't give him what he wants. But Marcus, I'm still stuck in a car that won't start with a killer outside. Staying calm doesn't fix my alternator.
True, so let's troubleshoot. Why won't the car start? Is it the battery? If your headlight and radio still work, the battery is fine. It's likely the starter or fuel system.
I love that we've transitioned into a car maintenance tutorial. What if it's real automotive edition?
If you can't start the car, you need to call for help. This is where modern technology changes everything. You have a phone. You call 911 immediately.
Okay, but what do you say? Hi, there's a man with a hook outside my car. They're going to think it's a prank.
You say, my car won't start and there's a person behaving erratically near my vehicle. I feel threatened. Please send police immediately. You don't mention the hook. You describe the situation professionally.
Smart. Okay, police are on the way, but they're going to take, 10 minutes? 15? That's a long time to sit in a dead car with Captain Hook pacing outside.
This is where you need to assess his behavior. Is he actively trying to get in, or is he just standing there? Because if he's just loitering, he might be mentally ill and not actually violent.
That's actually a good point. The legend says escaped mental patient, which is, extremely outdated and stigmatizing language. But what if he genuinely needs help and isn't a threat?
Then the kindest thing you can do is still call the authorities so he can get the assistance he needs. You are not equipped to handle that situation alone in a dark parking lot.
Agreed. But let's say he is violent. He's not just standing there. He's actively trying to pry the door open with the hook. What's my move?
You make noise, honk the horn, turn on your hazard lights, flash your high beams. If there are other cars or houses nearby, you want to attract attention. Witnesses make attackers flee.
Okay, yes, the horn. That's brilliant. It's loud, it's annoying, and it screams, something is wrong here.
And if he still doesn't leave, you have to make a run for it.
What? You just said to stay in the car.
If the car won't start and he's actively trying to break in, the car is no longer a safe location. It's a metal box. You need to get to a place with people or better defenses.
But he's right outside the door. How do I get out without running directly into him?
You exit from the opposite side. If he's at the driver's door, you climb over the console and go out the passenger side. You move fast and you run towards lights, roads, buildings, anywhere with people.
I'm just picturing this, scrambling over a gear shift in heels while a hook-handed man chases me through the woods. This date has really gone downhill.
Which brings us to prevention. How do you avoid this situation entirely?
Don't go to Lover's Lane.
Don't go to isolated locations, especially at night, without telling someone where you are. Share your location with a friend. Park in well-lit, populated areas.
So basically the real lesson of the hook is bad date planning leads to bad outcomes.
Precisely. But let's address the legend's ending. In the story, they drive away and find the hook on the door handle, which means he was that close to getting in. It's supposed to be this horrifying reveal.
Right. We barely escaped. But here's what I don't get. If he was holding on to the door handle with his hook hand and they drove away, wouldn't that, rip his arm off?
That's an excellent point. The legend never explains how the hook detaches. Is it a prosthetic that just pops off? Because if so, he's now unarmed. Literally.
Unarmed. I see what you did there.
In reality, if someone's hand, hook, or otherwise is caught in your door and you drive away, you're going to feel resistance. You're going to know something is wrong.
Unless you're so hyped up on adrenaline, you just floor it. Which, honestly, fair.
And here's our second revelation. There have been actual crimes that mirror the hook legend. In the 1960s and 70s, there were reports of attacks on couples in parked cars. The legend likely grew from real fears.
Wait, so this one is actually kind of based on true events.
Not the hook hand specifically, but isolated attacks on vulnerable people, yes. The legend takes a real danger and amplifies it into something memorable.
That's somehow more disturbing than the ghost in the mirror, because this one could actually happen. Maybe not with a hook, but someone could absolutely try to carjack you or worse.
Which is why the safety advice we've covered is genuinely useful. Lock your doors, stay aware of your surroundings, don't isolate yourself without a communication plan.
Okay, so let's recap. The official Hookman survival plan. Step 1, if you hear scraping, don't immediately panic. Identify the source.
Step 2, if there's actually someone outside, stay in the car with doors locked and windows up. Try to start the engine and drive away.
Step 3, if the car won't start, call 911. Be specific about your location and the threat.
Step 4, make noise. Horn, lights, anything to attract attention.
And step 5, if all else fails and he's breaking in, exit the opposite side and run toward people and lights.
The key takeaway, the car is only safe if it's locked and functional. If either of those things fails, you need a new plan fast.
And maybe reconsider your date location. Applebee's is looking pretty good right about now. Well lit, public, witnesses everywhere.
Romantic ambiance is overrated when your life is on the line.
That's all for today's episode of What If It's Real? Next time, we're asking, what if you really did wake up in a bathtub full of ice with a note that says, "Call 911, we took your kidney"?
We'll cover black market organ trafficking, surgical timelines, and whether or not you should actually use that ice.
Spoiler, you probably shouldn't, but we'll explain why. See you next time.